everyone, I'm Sage and welcome to another lesson of the Wicca Way Growth. If you don't know who we are, check out the description box. The topic I want to cover today is an important one, and it's actually a new one as far as how I've taught growth in the past. It's something I've touched on in former growth classes, but new research is always coming out, and I think it's important that people know what they're doing and getting into. And I want you to be armed with as much information as possible. So I want to devote an entire lesson to this. I've always raved about the benefits of meditation. I was introduced to meditation back in my early college years. I think it was my first semester. I took a stress management course as an elective, and we spent a portion of it on meditation. So I've been meditating ever since and singing the praises of meditation. 30 plus years now. Ugh, it's been that long. And especially after I began to study magic and paganism and Wicca and how important it is to spiritual practices, I've always been like, meditation, meditation, meditation. I know it even pisses off a lot of people who don't like meditation when they start reading my articles or books, and I'm always like, meditation, meditation. Like, shut up, Sage, but it is what it is. And for many years, the growing body of research on meditation and all its benefits has been good. For those studying magic, meditation helps you mentally to discipline yourself. It helps you alter your states of consciousness, helps your ability to focus, to sense and raise and release and direct energy. It helps you hone your psychic abilities to get in touch with your gods and your higher self, your spirit guides. In mundane things, meditation's been proven to reduce stress, reduce anxiety, lower blood pressure, improve emotional health, improve physical health, improve the attention span and memory, increase self-awareness. It helps people fight addictions and manage chronic pain. It helps people who meditate to become more kinder, calmer. Children made to meditate regularly are more likely to be calmer, less hyper, less violent, have better attention spans. They do better in school. Some studies on monks' brains even show that meditating a lot over time may increase gray matter in the brain. So much good. There really is so much good in there. But you should also know, as with many other things, it's not always all good. And there may be a downside. And some research in recent years has come to light, and there have been studies that suggest that meditation might be bad for some people. And it is a minority of people. Most people will benefit from meditation, but you should know that for some people, meditation, or at least certain types of meditation, or excessive meditation, can do more harm than good. Now, there was a recent study that I don't think was very good personally. It was conducted by Brown and the University of California, which you would think it'd be good because those are really good schools, and yeah, but the sample was really small, only 60 participants, and the participants were all Westerners who claimed to have negative experiences after trying certain Buddhist meditations. So some claimed they experienced hallucinations and weird experiences. Some felt it caused them to relive negative emotions, and for some, practicing detachment left them feeling lethargic, unmotivated, and even depressed, and feeling empty. And others had some physical side effects like headaches or muscle twitches, which were attributed to their efforts to focus and sit still. Some people claimed they felt more antisocial after meditating. And again, I'm not a scientist, and these are pretty good universities, but this study does not sound the most credible to me due to the small, very specific sample size. And what they call hallucinations would be what somebody else might call visions or spiritual experiences, which is exactly what some people are going for when they meditate. for spiritual reasons, so I'm not sure that that's really a bad side effect. I guess it depends on how you look at it. Also, the idea that they had negative physical reactions makes me wonder if they were very adept at meditation, because trying to force yourself to sit still like a statue and focus for long periods of time, that takes practice. And yeah, in the beginning, you might give yourself a headache or a backache or muscle twitches and such if you're sitting there like straining to focus on something. If the people were novices practicing advanced Buddhist meditation techniques, it's no wonder it didn't go well, but meditation in general wouldn't be to blame for that. So I don't think this particular study should cause alarm for people who meditate. It should be taken with a grain of salt. Maybe if a person is getting unpleasant results from one type of meditation, they should try another type before throwing in the towel. I don't know, but you have to look out for your own health, and you should know about these things. That's why I'm bringing it up today. Then again, you have to remember that Buddhist meditation, they're meant to work through some serious stuff, to find the path of enlightenment, to advance one spiritually and bring about an awakening. You go through some dark shit when you take that road. So someone trying out those meditations, those types of meditations, especially without a qualified instructor or spiritual guide, may be asking for trouble if they weren't prepared for that particular journey. I've had bad experiences during meditation, but it was in deeper meditations and trances and path working where the experience wasn't unexpected. It was part of the work I was doing to release myself from certain issues. So I knew it was a possibility that I was going to have to relive the issue or the trauma associated with it. And I was prepared for that. And the people that were teaching me were prepared for that. And I wanted to work through that experience. So it's not that meditation can't sometimes be a negative experience. It's just that you have to know what kind of meditation you're doing and what the purpose is here. And that's why there's a big difference between, like, say, simple mindfulness or transcendental meditation. You also have to remember that these studies are often done by people of Western culture dabbling in Eastern cultural practices. And there's a whole different mindset. Like, if you're a Westerner raised with Judeo-Christian influences that tout you as someone special, one of God's people, or if your modern cultural influences revolve heavily around defining your identity and intersectionality, which is big today, trying to jump into an advanced Buddhist meditation like Mahamurta, which is where you focus on your identity basically being an illusion, that you have no actual self, it's bound to result in some kind of crisis for you, because that kind of meditation makes sense in a philosophy that teaches us that suffering is caused by attachment, and you can release suffering by releasing all attachments, including attachments to your own identity. But someone in a culture that celebrates embracing one's true identity could, of course, find themselves distressed and depressed if they spend hours contemplating on the idea that those identities that they take pride in and hold so dear don't really exist. Like, you can't cherry pick what this meditation is trying to achieve, because if you don't subscribe to the whole philosophy of the Eightfold Path or something similar to that in Buddhism, then that meditation is just not going to be very helpful to you. It doesn't mean that all meditation is bad, but if they're just looking for some stress relief or to learn how to focus better, they've really kind of overshot their target. If they wanted to crack a walnut, they should have chosen a nutcracker, not one of those heavy iron blacksmith hammers or the jackhammer or something. So that's pretty much, if they were just going for a little bit of stress relief and relaxation, they went into heavy Buddhist meditations. That's what they could have done. So it's no wonder they had some kind of fallout over that. Now, some earlier that study was done in around 2017. Some earlier studies suggested that people who come back from meditation retreats focus more on the negatives in their life. And honestly, that's just another one where I think the reason could be something other than meditation. That was done back in the early 90s, and It could be that the environment of the retreat messed with them, or maybe they come back and find that they're dissatisfied with their lives because they were so happy at the retreat. So it's not really the meditation that's making them sad. It's not the retreat or anything. It's the fact that they're dissatisfied with their lives. Maybe that's what drove them to go to the retreat in the first place, and it confirmed that they need a change. I wouldn't say that the problem was with the meditation, but you should know about it. And some people suggest that people who meditate can become too passive sometimes, or they might begin to feel empty, like nothing matters. And again, all of these studies, they're fairly small, with conclusions that should be taken with a grain of salt, but shouldn't be ignored because some studies do point to more serious health concerns when it comes to meditation and mental health. Namely, people who have experienced traumas or have PTSD or serious issues, like they've been abused or abandoned or rejected, people who may have buried their feelings and have a lot of emotional blocks that they haven't worked through, they may suffer adverse effects from some forms of meditation when those are released. In the stillness and quiet of deep meditation, these things can bubble up when a person is not prepared for the flood of emotions and they don't know how to deal with it. That can be dangerous when that dam bursts, especially if a person doesn't have a good support structure at the time, or they don't have the resources to seek help. If the person is prone to depression, anxiety, or other kinds of mental health issues, that's not a good combination. In addition, people who are prone to suffer from certain types of psychosis may find it triggered by certain types of meditation. And that's probably the most concerning study of all. They can even get this from prolonged meditation. They try to sit around meditating for too many hours. People with mania, schizophrenia, any kind of psychosis should make sure they're being treated and their condition is under control before they venture too deeply into different meditative practices. Now, if meds help stabilize you, then you should be on your meds when you're doing deeper meditations. And if you're taking meds temporarily to cure some ailment and they make you loopy, then you should wait until you're off those meds and back to your norm. Put meditation on pause. Most people with these side effects, especially the more detrimental ones, are very rare in general. Generally, they're more likely to happen to people who meditate for really long periods of time or who practice more advanced meditations than with the type of beginner meditations I'm introducing you to in Grove. But you have to be responsible for your own health and well-being, and Grove is not about forcing you to do something that's bad for you. I mean, I would be careful not to jump to conclusions and give up on meditating altogether for something minor. Like if I got a headache or a crick in my neck, I might just try changing my position or trying a different technique. But for myself, I wouldn't throw the baby out with the bathwater on that one, because there are a lot of studies that celebrate the benefits of meditation. But I wouldn't take chances with my health, mental or otherwise either. And there's no one size fits all for what's right for each of us. And so you shouldn't take chances with your health. You have to decide for yourself if you do want to meditate, for how long, how deep, and when to stop. Which meditations you should give up on if they're not working for you, or if you feel that you're experiencing adverse effects from them. I want you to pay attention to your body and your mind and your experiences as you're doing this, and act according to your own best judgment. Like I said, most meditations that we're going to start with are not likely to trigger anything because they're lighter meditations that just kind of teach you how to be still and focus and kind of clear your mind from the things that are distracting you to be aware and present of what's going on in the moment, or to focus your thoughts on certain ideas or emotions. We're even going to go through some guided meditations where the imagery is going to be all laid out for you in a journey, but we're not going to be doing a lot of the really deep meditations and trances, because that's something that you should have a more personal guide in instructing you through that, someone with experience. That's yours to explore. I'm just showing you the beginning. Here's the door. If you want to go through and how far you want to go in, that is up to you. But you're not going to be thrown out of grove if you don't meditate. You know, I will continue to recommend people give it a chance and work at it if they're not experiencing anything negative, to keep trying to improve with it. Again, the meditations, we'll be just experimenting with light meditations that are unlikely to lead to negative effects. But if you feel the practice is doing you harm, by all means stop and do what's right for you. So now that I've made you aware of that, I just want to mention that on Mondays, I'll be putting up the meditation topics for the Grove. We'll be putting out a new meditation lesson every month, Meditation Mondays, for Grove students who don't have adverse effects to meditation. And you can look up the Grove Facebook page for assignments that will guide you in practicing those meditations for the rest of the week. Remember, even if you can't give them a few minutes per day, even if you can only give them a few minutes per day, it's better than nothing. I'd rather you meditate for 3 minutes a day than once a week for 30 minutes. And if you feel you can't practice these because they're legit a threat to your health and well-being, you should listen to the lesson and just hear the lesson and learn what's going on to stay on the same page. But remember, to do all the things we want to do in Grove, you need to know about them, but you got to do what's best for you. You got to do what's best for your health. So it's going to be the ball's in your court, right? You feel meditation give you adverse effects, you don't do it. Don't listen to me when I say meditate this week. That is not meant for you if you feel you can. So if you would please take a moment to do all those things I need you to do, like this video, share this video, subscribe, ring the bell, comment. Let me know if you've had any bad experiences with meditation, and if you found a way around them. It'll help others who want to try but might not be having any success, or they might have had adverse effects. Ultimately, as much as I rave about meditation, I just want you to please ignore it if it's not right for you. Maybe it never will be right for you. That doesn't make you any less Wiccan or less pagan or less of a witch. Or maybe someday you'll find someone in your life who can give you better instruction and guidance, or you'll just find a different way around it. But, who knows? Here in the Grove, it's all good. Have a magical day, my friends.